Welcome back to another informational video about immigration laws, and today's topic is going to be asylum. Have you found yourself in a situation where you're having a consultation with an immigration attorney and you mention, hey, I have an asylum claim pending? That's really vague, honestly. So I'm about to break down to you what you need to know when you explain your asylum claim that you filed. Either it's going to be an affirmative asylum or a defensive asylum. And trust me, there is a difference. Okay, so there are two paths to claiming asylum in the United States. Affirmative asylum is for individuals who are not in removal proceedings, or a lot of people like to call it deportation proceedings. And defensive asylum is when the individual or the respondent is in deportation proceedings. Now, in most cases, you can apply for asylum within the 1-year deadline. So what does that mean? When you enter the country, you have within 1 year to file for asylum. But in some rare cases, depending on your circumstances, you may be able to file for asylum after the 1 year if you meet certain requirements or based on your circumstances. And the only way to tell is if you can get your case evaluated with an experienced immigration attorney to go over all of the facts and the persecution that you face and what delayed the filing of the asylum. That's very, very important. And how come you didn't get the opportunity to file that asylum claim within that 1-year deadline? Now, let's break it down and show you what exactly affirmative asylum is and what defensive asylum is in terms of paperwork. So if you filed your case, an affirmative asylum, with the asylum office, with USCIS, what happens next? Your claim has been pending for many, many years. I get a lot of questions about that. My case has been stuck since 2016, 2017. A lot of people have fallen into that situation. You can retain an attorney to conduct a follow-up, to even supplement whatever was already filed in the past to see if anything else is needed. And when you do finally get that interview with a USCIS officer, that it would be best to prepare for that. Those interviews are lengthy. They take about 2 to 3 hours, and the preparation for that is lengthy as well. So contact us to see, if you have an interview coming up or you want to do a follow-up, and eventually you will get your interview for the affirmative asylum. You better prepare for it, and it's best to take an immigration attorney with you as well. Now, let's talk about the defensive asylum. So your case is before removal proceedings or, immigration court anywhere in the U.S. It doesn't have to be a particular city. So immigration attorneys, I do want to let you know, because the law is federal, they're able to practice anywhere in the U.S. My firm does it as well. So for removal proceedings, if you get an individual hearing, be prepared to testify in front of the court. The judge is going to be asking you questions. So is the trial attorney and your own attorney that you retain. Now, a lot of the questions that are going to be asked are going to actually focus on the type of asylum case you have. And if you do have a 1-year issue, as you like to call it, or, if you filed your asylum claim late, then you need to explain that exception to the court. Now, how do you do it? You submit a memo. Again, it's best to retain an attorney for that. So preparing for the individual hearing is very tedious. It's lengthy. It's a lot of work that gets involved, and to also supply evidence to the court to support that claim, it's very, very important that you get that evaluated, because you may not be able to do that yourself and represent yourself pro se. Now, do people represent themselves pro se? They do, but it is my recommendation that you do contact an attorney to get your case evaluated.